you're like me and you have a few clients that can't find their glutes, I tend to use these next few here quite frequently because I do find that a lot of people just can't get out of their quads. So we're gonna have footwork settings on the reformer. For me, that's 1 and 1, and for your clients, if they're taller, that's gonna be farther out. I've got 2.5 springs, so 2 heavy and 1 medium. Foot bar is all the way to the top. We're gonna be lying down. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. So we're gonna find the feet nice and wide with a little bit of external rotation just to bias those glutes. We're gonna find a nice hover, so a little bit of a bridge, and then press out long. So it is a bit heavier, but the idea is that we wanna really focus on driving through the heels, so using that posterior chain to come back out. And then the cue I really like when we come back in is sending the knees over the toes. And that really tends to help release the quads. If you feel like you need something a little bit more challenging, bring the legs in to a little bit more of a narrow stance, 1 leg up in tabletop, and do this with 1 leg. So we're getting a lot more load here and nice free quads to come back in. So for this next one, it's called overhead. We're gonna change the spring settings to 1.5 or maybe 1 3/4. We're gonna have the gear bar all the way to the front and that stopper all the way to the front if it's not too squishy for your clients. And we're gonna drop this foot bar all the way to the bottom. And so the reason why the stopper or the carriage is all the way to the front is because it allows a little bit more range of motion for those arms. Phew, got that out. Okay, so we're gonna be on our backs. Shimmy, 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 find a nice position. So we're gonna start with the legs on that long diagonal. On that inhale, we're gonna press the hands down along the sides. We're gonna find some momentum in the core. We're gonna flip over, find those legs in parallel, reach them up towards the ceiling, and then slowly melt back down. And then find diagonal here, arms float back up. So you're definitely not gonna do this with anyone that can't have a loaded position on the spine, so definitely no osteoporosis. So we're gonna press here on the inhale, exhale, over to parallel. So we don't want the legs really floppy. We're gonna find some nice energy here. Keep the palms down, send those legs up, and slowly melting down. Some eccentric glutes, finding long diagonal here again. And here. And press all the way over towards the ceiling, melt it down, and then through again. Okay, so last one we're gonna do is a really simple one, scooter 2. It's quite basic, but I do find super effective, so I just keep going back to it. We're gonna take the foot bar all the way to the top, springs anywhere from 1 to 1.5, depending on what you're working on. We're gonna use a platform extender for anyone that needs a little bit of height. So I'm 5'5", and I still need the platform here just to make sure that my hips are level when I'm standing up. So 2 hands on the foot bar, 1 hand on the shoulder rest, 1 foot on the shoulder rest. And we're gonna reach into hip extension and fold it in. Cueing for some nice hinging on the way back in, release the glute, and engage to press out long. So if you do find you want more strength building, keep the hands down, bump it up. If you're trying to integrate core control with hip extension, so you've got a nice stable base, keep the weight at 1 spring, stand up nice and tall, press it long, and then fold it back in. You won't get as far, but I do find it's a nice functional addition to this exercise.